Hi guys, I'm Kristen, welcome and welcome back. Ask and you shall receive. Recently I had a commenter request if I could rank the series that I started in 2023, so I thought, yeah, for sure, I can do that. If you have any other ideas of content you'd like me to create, just let me know. So today I'm going to be tier ranking all of the series that I started in 2023. And before we get into it though, I do have to correct an error that was made in the past. In that video, I stated that I had started 15 series in 2023, and I left 3 series off, including like a series that was a book that I mentioned in that video. If you know me personally, you know that I'm really bad at record keeping within like the book sphere. Like I do a really poor job of that, and this is where mistakes are made. So in fact, I have 18 series to go through today. We're going to be tier ranking them. I've never done this before, so hopefully technically everything works out okay. Let's just get into it and go from there. Okay, so I have divided the categories into 5 different categories. Love, super excited about it, enjoyed it. So there's like an overall like, yeah, it's good. Too early to tell, which is, I feel like is a category that's like, this was okay. I'm not certain that I will pick up the next one, or that like, or like maybe it's more of like, we'll see how the next one goes as to how I feel about the series. And then series that I'm DNFing. Now I will say that even though I'm DNFing some of these series, I didn't hate any of these books. There's just like some of them that will go into this category that I'll obviously explain later, where it's just like, I didn't like it enough to like actually put more time into this series. And that is the case for the first one. So we've got The Dark Apprentice here. Is a book following 2 main characters. One who is like a genius sorceress rather, and she takes on an apprentice, but all of her apprentices in the past, like because she's like expert at dark magic, they all ultimately try to kill her, and because she's like the best, she ends up like killing all of her apprentices. But then she takes on an apprentice who's a sociopath, and I just thought that was gonna be like really dark and gritty, and it had a lot more humor to it in a way that I didn't fully enjoy. And I thought that the sociopathic character was going to be extremely interesting to read from, and really it was more just like super frustrating, and just not the vibe that I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to put that one here in DNFing. Then we've got, I'm actually having a really hard time using my like touch screen. There we go. So Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I am actually currently reading the second book in this, and I'm going to say enjoyed it. It was like something new, cozy, different, but not like life-altering. I wasn't like, oh my god, this is so amazing. Like it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Empire of Exiles. This one, I'm gonna say super excited about it. I did like a vlog style review. I'm just gonna talk through the hammering because there's no way that I will ever be able to finish if I just like sit and wait. Empire of Exiles was a new series from the year before last, actually. I think it's super underhyped. You can hear my in-depth thoughts about it. I did like a vlog style review as I was reading it. Really enjoyed it. It's super unique, super different. We're following like a scribe / like lawyer type guy who gets kind of like embroiled into accidentally embroiled into a conspiracy and like a murder mystery. I thought it was really fun. Like I think it's a really interesting conspiracy uprising kind of a story. Super unique fantasy, if that's what you're looking for. Super excited about it. The second book actually is coming out this year, pretty soon. I should double check that. Then we have The Empress of Salt and Fortune, and this is the first book in the Singing Hills cycle, and I'm gonna say, yeah, love. I'm gonna go for it. I've actually read 3 of them last year. I read that one, When the Tiger Comes Down the Mountain. Into the Riverlands is book number 3 in that, or novella number 3 in that. This is by Niveau. It is a series of novellas. The 1, 2, 3. Oh no, and the 4th one, Mammoths at the Gate, I think came out at the end of the year, and I read that as well. I thought it was done. There's actually another one coming out. I think the next one, like the 5th one that's coming out this year, I think that is going to be it. But yeah, I love this series. We are following a cleric who like travels their empire just like collecting facts and history and stuff like that. And it's really about like storytelling. So in each one, it like goes into a storytelling element. And I think it's like really unique from that sense, and just like the perfect length kind of for what we're getting. Oh, Fourth Wing. Oh, it's like a too early to tell / DNFing. I'm going to say too early to tell. Now, I actually really enjoyed reading Fourth Wing. I thought it was fun. But fun in like that was good enough. I don't need another. Like, I don't need, oh, that's kind of crazy. I put something in every bracket now. That's unintentional. But it was fun in like a satisfying kind of a way. I was curious to see how I was going to feel about it when the second book came out, like later on that year. And I just didn't really care. And then I think generally people were kind of not in love with the second book as much as the first book. So yeah, I'm going to say too early to tell, because I could spontaneously pick up that second book at some point, but I'm not feeling the urge. It's just like, it's not a definite DNF. So that's kind of where I'll go for that. House of Salt and Fortune. This is definitely one that I left out of that list. I think so was Dark Apprentice. I'm going to say DNFing. I have no intent to pick up the next book. I read this for our book club, the Book Checkout Book Club. It just kind of lost it in the vibes for me. I thought it was like doing a really good job of creepy vibes. It's like a slightly older YA fantasy where it is a 12 dancing princesses retelling, and all the sisters keep dying. And it just like vibe shifts from like this like creepy of like what's going on here with all these like dead sisters and whatever, to then like, ooh, he touched my hand sort of thing. It was like a little bit abrupt for me, and it just kept killing the vibe. Like, I thought the creepy vibe was good until then we would immediately follow it up with angsty teenage romance. Then we're gonna go Hunt the Stars. There we go. Hunt the Stars is a sci-fi romance. It is like an interspecies sci-fi romance where the main character or female lead is human, and she's like a bounty hunter, and they take on a mission with like this guy who's of like this alien species that they like just recently got out of a war with. So there's like tension there. It was actually really fun. It had like cozy spaceship people of different, pasts and whatever coming together. I'm going to put it here. Enjoyed it. And I am going to put it behind Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Really enjoyed it. I don't think the next book in the series is out yet, so I'm like, waiting to see, but I definitely think there are going to be more. I think you're going to follow different characters within this world. I think more people should pick this up. Ashes of the Sun by Django Wexler. This is also going to go. Enjoyed it. I think that my expectations were just too high on this one. In that everyone that I knew when I picked this up early last year was like so in love with it, and so I went into it thinking like, this is gonna be the best new thing ever. It's a dual POV. We're following two siblings, Geyer and Maya, who were like split up as young children. The sister was like taken in by this like order that sort of like governs or enforces laws kind of a thing. And it's like sci fantasy, I thought, in a really good way. There's like more like a, not secret, but like a past civilization that was maybe more advanced, like one of those kinds of setups. And overall, like, I think there was a lot there. I just think that my expectations were like through the roof on this based on what everyone else was saying about it. And then I had like an only okay time with it. The one, Maya, is in a sapphic relationship, or there's a sapphic relationship. Oh my God, how am I trying to say this? There's a sapphic relationship element to Maya's storyline, and it was just like a little bit young for me in the tone. And partially that could have just been from the audiobook narrator style. I've heard that gets better in the remaining books, so that's good. Yeah, I did really enjoy it. I just think that my expectations were high, so I just kind of want to like temper my expectations going into the next one. Then we have Murderbot, or All Systems Red, the Murderbot series. Oh, I'm going to say super excited about it. again, another one that like you could potentially have gone into this with too high of expectations. I think that I didn't. I think that I had the right amount of expectations going into this. It was short, sweet novella. We're following Murderbot, who is like an AI being that's kind of like a security guard that you can like hire or rent. And I enjoyed it. I liked Murderbot's perspective of like not wanting to be like seen or focused. Like I liked what it was exploring. I think someone, a commenter related it to like being neurodivergent. But I liked that it was a unique perspective. I really enjoyed the ending. I thought there was like almost like a place that it could have gone that I was super excited about. And then like the way that it did go, I was infinitesimally less excited about the route that it wound up going. But I think that there's like a lot of potential there. So yeah, super excited about that series. I'm sure that I'll continue to pick up the novellas when I get the chance. And I think they're all available on Scribd too. So that's super accessible. Then we have Age of Myth. This one, I picked my next for like new series start last year by Michael Sullivan. This is the Legends of the First Empire. It's like the prequel 6-book series to the Rhaeria Revelations, which I have not read. I'm going in, I guess, like world order instead of publication order. Love. I feel like this was one of the earlier books last year that I was super excited about when I picked it up and read it. Just like really loved it. I think that it just like was a book that totally swept me off my feet. I enjoyed all of the different perspectives. I didn't think it was like the most unique thing ever. There was elements that I, guessed along the way. There were some surprises still that like took my breath away in like a, oh my God, I want to cry about this kind of a way. I liked the entry point into this world. I thought that it did a really good job of explaining the world with the viewpoint that we have of it so far, while still leaving lots of potentials of like, that there's more going to be going on, but it didn't make it so complicated in this first book by telling you everything you need to know about the world. So I thought it did a really good job of that. Love that book, and can't wait to keep going on in that series. Then we have Children of Gods and Fighting Men by Shala Lawless. This is the first book in the Gale Song, a historical fantasy series set in like 100 AD. Is that right? Something like that. Love. Yeah, maybe not quite as much as Age of Myth. That's a tough one. And in this one, we're following two. I'm going to put it there for now. We're following two women in this story who are representatives of the two different mythological peoples of Ireland. I'm not going to say them because it's been a while since I've listened to the audiobook. And I really loved the first book, like really loved it. I think it was my favorite book in the first half of last year. Shauna Lawless was like the author that I said was my new favorite author from last year. I think she did an amazing job of giving you two unique first POV perspectives. I think that's really hard to make both perspectives feel distinct, and she like absolutely nailed that. It was about like motherhood. It was about being a woman in this time. It was each of these women finding a way to create agency, or at least like to like be in this world, being a woman when you have so little agency and respect or like anything at the time. Yeah, really liked it. I've already read the second book. The third book is coming out this year. Really loving the series. I cannot wait to see, but I'm like a little bit nervous about the third book, but I think there's going to be a time jump. But yeah, super love that series as well. As is the case with First Sister, I'm also going to put it above. No. Yeah, I think that's right. This is a sci-fi series, which for me, I don't read a ton of sci-fi. I find sci-fi world building really difficult and confusing, especially on audiobook, which is how I listened to this one. And in this one, we're following a couple different POVs, 2 POVs plus this voice recording. It is set in our solar system, which I think made it more accessible. That it was like Mercury and Venus and Jupiter or something. Like I don't remember the I think no, not Jupiter. But you know what I mean? Like it was planets that I had heard of and like some moons and stuff. And we're following the first sister, who's like this like nameless, the first sister is like a title, and she is a representative of their faith on spaceships. What you tell of one of the sisters is supposed to be totally secret, so none of them can talk. And then she's like told by her order, though, that she's supposed to like report back on this new captain, like what this new captain says to her. They suspect that this new captain is a traitor, and she's supposed to report back on what the new captain says, and that's like super against their faith. It's a whole thing. Really, really interesting discussion about consent at large, I think. And I'll leave the other POVs. I don't want to spend too much time. But yeah, I really liked this. I loved that it was sci-fi that made sense to me, sci-fi that worked for me. It was very character focused, and I am really, really interested to see where we go. I thought it had like some like really crazy reveals at the ending of that one. I'm curious to see what happens next. Okay, I finally figured out how to quickly grab onto the house. Then we have the Lies of the Jungle. I'm not actually sure what the deal is with this one, with a series. There's more novellas coming. It's a novella. We're following a city where there's no water, and every year, like, people go off, like heroes of the city go out into the desert to try to find more sources of water. And our main character is one of these children who does so, and we follow their journey. You can't say anything else about it. It had a super crazy ending. Like, the reveal was not that revealing, but how it ended actually was super shocking. I'm gonna say enjoyed it. Yeah. I think this is the right spot, in between Ashes of the Sun and Hunt the Stars. Then we've got the Invisible Library. I read 7 of the 8 books in this series last year. Really cozy series following a librarian whose job it is to like steal books, unique books from alternate universes in order to help stabilize those universes from not going too into chaos or too into order. And I've already finished it. I loved it. I'm gonna put it here. Oh, why isn't that? There we go. That's right. I've talked a lot about it lately. I'm not gonna blather on more about it, but I might even do a you should read or who should read The Invisible Library. So I will leave it at that. The Justice of the Kings, bam, top spot. Empire of the Wolf, I believe is this series called. I read The Justice of Kings at some point, like in the fall. Read the next book, Tyranny of Faith, in December maybe, and I cannot wait to get to, I just said the title of the book in the last video that I filmed and I've already forgotten it. Can't wait to get to the conclusion. It's coming out in February. So excited to pick that up. I think this book is doing a really interesting thing with the here, let me tell you my story, because it's not her story that she's telling, sort of. We're getting the story of Sir Conrad von Valt, who is a justice, and we're getting his story through the eyes of his apprentice / cleric, Helena. It's not as character focused as you would think in like a here, let me tell you my story, because I think that she is leaving stuff out. She's more telling you like, this is what I thought at the time, and not more like, and then I did this, and this made me feel like this. Like she's a little bit removed from it, and not an overly in your face kind of narrator. But I really, really like it because through this even like slightly filtered perspective, you're still getting a really clear sense of the impact that the events around her are having on her and her like development and growth, as well as seeing the change in Sir Conrad through her eyes. Yeah, loving that series. The Long Way Too Small, Angry Planet. This one I'm actually DNFing. Really liked the book, but the series like doesn't, no, with the drilling. The series does not follow the same people in each book, and I just like, I've heard like generally what the next ones are about. I maybe would pick up the 4th book, which Kristen said is like the other, like really, really, like she really liked them all, but like if you're only going to read a couple, it would be the first one and the 4th one. So I would maybe pick up the 4th one at some point in the future. I just feel like I got what I needed out of this. Becky Chambers is like a solid sci-fi author for me, but she's not like my favorite thing in the world. You know, this one was like all found family, no plot. You know. The Stardust Thief, I'm also DNFing. I mean, the order doesn't really matter, I guess, right? And this is an example of a book that, like, I thought this book was just fine. It was the most okayest okay book that I read last year. What's it called? 1001 Nights inspired, where we're having, like, it's desert fantasy. There's elements of the 1000 Nights framing, as well as the stories within that are placed into this book. I thought that the friendship dynamic between one of our POVs and her guard was really, really good. Like, I loved that. I felt like it was trying to casually sell you on a future relationship, not with that person, like a future romantic relationship with some characters that I wasn't on board with, or just like, I was like, no, I don't want that to happen. And then it had another POV that was like super, not super irrelevant, but just like, yeah, I don't know. It was an okay book. I have no interest in picking up the next one, to be honest. I just think it's like a 3-star series for me, and I don't want to spend time and energy on that. In the Will of the Many. Oops. Somewhere up here. Now I feel like some of these Love Loves should really have just been super excited about it. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna put it here because I loved this book more than The Age of Myth, but I feel like The Age of Myth, from a series perspective, has more potential than whatever the Will of the Many series is called. The Will of the Many, book 2, new booktube darling, for sure. It's sort of the favorite book of the year from last year. Like, really, it was like the Justice of the Kings / Tyranny of Faith. But yeah, love. I think that series. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that series. I'm excited to see where we go in the next book. We're gonna get like a location shift. We're gonna be in a different setting. We have some different information to package and deal with in the next book. We've learned some stuff. I think it'll be different, but I hope that it keeps the fun, like, action-packed, fast-paced approach. It's like a book that I'm fine that it's more plot-based than it is character-driven. I am going to readjust this. I'm going to put the First Sister down here. I think that's more accurate. Same with the Invisible Library. It's tough to say whether that I'm like super excited about a series that I actually have finished. Yeah, that's right. Same with Empress of Soul, unfortunately. Was this above the First Sister? I don't know. Realistically, that goes there. Totally just shifted that up at the end there. Too early to tell. Do any of the enjoyed it's belong in too early to tell? No. I think that's good. I feel good about this. Yeah. I'm second guessing myself because now I feel like I liked Emily Wilde more than I liked Murderbot. Damn, how do people do these tier rankings and then leave them as they are? Yeah. This is how I'm gonna do it. This is totally shifted that up. I think this is more representative. Do I? Yeah. No, I enjoyed, like, I'm excited about where, no, I think excited is like too strong of a word maybe for Murderbot. That's how I'm leaving with that. There we go. This is, how do people do tier ranking all the time? This is impossible. Okay, that is it. I have stopped recording the screen. It is set in stone. This is my tier ranking of all the series that I started in 2023. Yeah, I think I did well. Not just in the not in the tier ranking, but like I feel good about this series that I started last year. And I, as you can see, plan to continue a large majority of them. All right, well, that is it for me today. Thank you to the viewer who recommended I do this. Great idea for video. Thanks for that. Hit me up with all of the other content that you would like me to create in the future, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.